newsletter regarding private schools, or maybe it was from last month's newsletter. Last year in the budget bill, there was a provision put in that would allow the private schools in the state of Ohio who are ISACS accredited to opt out of the state mandated testing and choose their own testing for their end of course exams. Now, we were presented with testimony that said that every other state in the nation allows their private schools to determine their own testing, and that Ohio is the only state in the nation which determines that a private school has to use the same testing as a public school. And that was held up in court several years back. Part of the reason being that the state issues an accredited diploma, or they use a state accredited diploma in their process. So this is an issue that's currently under debate in the MBR, the mid-biennium budget review thing, because, and it went through our board. I was no vote on this. There was 3 other people that voted no. There was a resolution put through our board to encourage the legislature to take it out because of the fact that if one, because they're adding a funding piece, which, all right, fine, I disagree with the funding piece. They're paying for the school, they can pay for their test. But, so the state shouldn't provide the test. But when it comes to the state determining the test that they have to take, I have a problem with that when it's a private school, because we had a lot of testimony last year, and we know this to be true otherwise, right? That when you control the test, you ultimately control the standard, which controls what gets taught. And a private school is supposed to have the right to determine what the students get taught separately from the public school. There's a reason that parents send their kids to private schools, and it's not because they like to pay $10,000 or $15,000 a year for the fun of it. At least I've not met any of those parents yet, if they exist. And one of those reasons is because often their curriculum is different, or their presentation is different, or there's something different that the parents see that they think would be beneficial to their child. And so we're kind of working on this at the moment, trying to figure out how we could address this issue, and I think I'll keep you up to date on that in my newsletter. I think that's really the final thing that I have, so I will...
We'll take questions after. And yes, she's up for re-election in November. Okay. We're going to move on. We're going to just really briefly review what our plan was for 2014. And what we wanted to do was, this was for the primary election, so it's kind of old news, but we wanted to find candidates that we could support, conservative, common citizens. We wanted to support those candidates, get them elected, and have them represent us, not necessarily the party being their first allegiance. And then, of course, if they don't represent us, we want to try to vote them out. So that's the approach. Here's what happened. Congress. Matt Lynch did not win. He put up a good fight. It was 55 to 45 overall in the district. In Lake County, Matt lost by 300 votes out of close to 15,000. So that's a testament to the work that a lot of people in this room did on Matt's behalf. So it was 51 to 49. And so, well, we didn't win that one. I think we made a good statement. And for at least 3 months, Dave Joyce's rating on the conservative scorecards crept up. Unfortunately, after the election, it's back down
Gee, what a surprise.
to what it was before.
Good gosh, who'd have guessed?
I know, it's real surprising to me. County Commissioner. Kim Laurie won the Republican primary for County Commissioner. She beat Dick Shreve and Chris Galloway. She got 40% of the vote, and I think it was somewhere between 200 and 300 votes that separated her and Chris Galloway. So she is a common concerned citizen who we worked hard to get her elected. Now, she was going to be here tonight to thank you personally for the work that you did on her behalf, but came up not long ago that there's a NOACA meeting tonight that is presenting the Northeast Ohio Sustainable Communities Consortium vision, and she recognized that it was more important for her to be there tonight than here, and she deeply regretted the fact that both meetings were on the same evening, as she recognizes that you played a big role in her victory. And so she sent me a statement that I'm going to read on her behalf. To my friends of the Lake County Liberty Coalition, as you are hearing this, I am attending a public visioning session being conducted by NOACA to try to manufacture public support for the recommendations that NEOSCC spent $4.5 million federal tax dollars fabricating. This is all part of the effort to promote regionalism on us, and they are relentless. I apologize that I'm not able to join you right now, but if the situation allows, I'm going to try to catch up with you later before your meeting concludes. Thanks to your dedication, encouragement, and support, we now have a constitutional conservative choice for Lake County Commissioner. There is no way I could have done this alone, and all credit goes to you, tirelessly pounding pavement, making phone calls, writing letters to your friends, contributing financially. I can't say enough to thank you for all that you've done, but I'll still try. Thank you. The race to the general consists of a big hill to climb. You're probably familiar with my opponent, a 30-plus year career politician with major name recognition and connections. Reportedly, he has over $100,000 at his disposal for his campaign against me, and more coming from his buddies in Cuyahoga County. There's also a third candidate on the ballot now, a Democrat who ran in the 2012 Democrat primary, who has now changed his stripes to run as an independent. So once again, we face a three-person race, but thanks to you, we've already been victorious once, and with continued perseverance, we can do it again. We learned in the primary that we don't necessarily need to spend more than our opponents, as long as we are strategic in our spending, have serious grassroots boots on the ground, and of course, divine support. We can celebrate our recent victory, as I am confident it has lit a brush fire for liberty that will continue to spread across our county, but only if you continue to fan the flames. This is a critical time. We must not become complacent after winning our recent battle, because the war rages on and the real victory is yet to come. We must remain vigilant over the next 6 months, and success hinges on your continued involvement. Here's how you can help right now. First, pray. Divine intervention was absolutely key, not only in my race, but in others across the state. We all know this isn't about me. This is about preserving freedom for all of God's people, and it starts here at home. We are saddened by the races which were lost, and we must remember that they too served a purpose in God's plan. Even though their individual battles may not have been won, their courage was an inspiration and helped to steer the political conversation back in a conservative direction. we were able to pose the questions